Shalom and welcome, friends, to the Christian Friends of Emunah Israel weekly webinar, where we've been looking over the past 50. This is the 53rd webinar that we've done. And we're going to be looking, as always, we look at the situation in the land and seek to answer the question, what can Christians do to support Israel in this difficult season? This weekend marked 500 days that the Israeli hostages have spent in brutal Hamas captivity. And today we are honored to bring you a special program that's going to last a little bit longer than normal. So instead of it being the usual 45 minutes, it'll be an hour. The program is going to be hosted by the Israeli Hostages and Missing Families Forum. I'm going to hand over in just a moment to Laura, and we will hear today from a family member of one of the hostages, as well as an update about the hostage situation in general. Thank you for joining us, and I introduce you now to Laura, who will be our host for the forum. Over to you, Laura.
Thank you, Stephen. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. So as Stephen said, my name is Laura. I'm a volunteer with the Hostages Families Forum. And today marks the 501 day since October 7th. There are still 73 innocent people held captive by Hamas terrorists, subjected to torture and denied basic human rights. And we stand here today united in our shared mission to bring them home. We will begin our session with a brief presentation to provide you with some context. We will visit a special place called Hostage Square that brings to life some of the personal stories behind our cause. And following the presentation, we will hear from Nirit. She will tell us her family's story. So let's begin with a quick overview of the events leading up to this moment. On Saturday, October 7th, 2023 already, Israel experienced the deadliest day in its history. Thousands of Hamas terrorists breached the Gaza security fence and attacked Israeli communities and military bases. They were shooting everything in sight, violently burning, raping, and killing. Over 1,100 people were brutally murdered that day, and 251 people were taken hostage by Hamas terrorists, including many women, children, and senior citizens. These are all innocent people, mostly civilians, just like you and I, who were violently kidnapped from their own communities. In the days and weeks following the attack, hundreds of families realized that their loved ones had been abducted. They were terrified, lost, and alone. They needed to join forces, so they reached out to media, law, security, and diplomacy experts. And together formed the Hostages and Missing Families Forum, a volunteer-based organization dedicated to supporting the families' every need and to bringing the hostages home by any means necessary. This vital work is sustained by thousands of volunteers like myself and like Karin, who is also supporting the session today, and donors who dedicate all resources towards supporting the cause. With that said, I welcome you to Hostage Square. After October 7th, families of the hostages needed a place to come together, and Hostage Square was established here. We are in the center of Tel Aviv, outside the Museum of Art, overlooking the Kiryat military base, where the Israeli War Cabinet meets to make critical decisions about the hostages. For the families, it's much more than just a square. It is a home where many spend their days and nights. For the rest of us, this square has become a focal point of solidarity. Every week, thousands of visitors come here to explore the art installations, attend a weekly support rally, or simply be here with our thoughts and prayers. Here, there are no labels like religious or secular, Arab or Jew, right wing or left wing. Everyone is simply united by a shared cause. The first installation that landed here is the table. This is a traditional dinner table found in almost every Israeli home. But unfortunately, the hostages are not here to enjoy a simple dinner with their families. In late November 2023, 105 hostages were released during a ceasefire deal with Hamas. Our table reflected this change. There were seats for those who were liberated and seats that simulate the conditions of those who remained captive. Take a closer look at the left side of the table. Released hostages testified it reminded them of their one meal a day in captivity. A piece of moldy pita bread, dirty water, with no certainty if the next meal would even arrive. We all saw the condition of the hostages who were released in the last couple of weeks. Their extreme thinness reminded us all of horrific images from 80 years ago. The testimonies of torture and starvation are difficult to comprehend. The piano you see in front of you has a special story. It was brought here by the family of Alon, a talented young musician who was kidnapped from the Nova Music Festival. Nova was a big party held near the Gaza border, where thousands of young Israelis gathered to celebrate music and love. Hundreds of them have been brutally murdered. Over time, Alon's personal piano was damaged, so the family's forum replaced it with a special piano made out of concrete. The piano is available for anyone who wishes to play it, and oftentimes we come here and find singers and musicians using it, and it's always very special. This is one of the ways families commemorate their loved ones in the square. Another example is 24-year-old Romi, who was also kidnapped. Sorry about that. Omi was also kidnapped from the Nova Festival. Omi is a dancer, and every Sunday afternoon, her friends held a dance class in her honor, right in the middle of the square. Omi was released recently and finally returned home. Families also use the square to honor the birthdays of their loved ones, like Phil, an Israeli baby who was abducted with his family and marked his very first and second birthday by now while in captivity. The forum provides the families with everything needed to hold this type of events. Our next stop is the Cypress Avenue, created in memory of those who have been murdered and whose bodies are still held captive in Gaza. For us, bringing everyone home includes both the living and the dead. Their remains must be returned to their families so that some degree of closure could be brought to their terrible loss. If we keep going, we'll find the count-up screen in front of us that's tracking the days, hours, minutes, and seconds since Hamas took our people hostage on October 7th. Today, like I said before, is counting already 501 days. For the hostages, every second is a waking nightmare. Take the example of 80-year-old Emily. When she was finally released after 50 days, she told her father that she thought she had been held captive for an entire year. That's what 50 days in captivity felt like, an entire year. Initially, we didn't believe it would take so long for the hostages to return, and the counter was programmed only for a 2-digit number. As the 100th day approached, we needed to reprogram the clock to include the 100th digit. And right by the screen is the hourglass, reminding us that the hostages are simply running out of time. For an entire year, they've been held in inhuman conditions, undergoing physical and mental torture. How much longer can they survive? A few months ago, the Israeli army recovered the bodies of 6 young hostages from an underground tunnel in Gaza. Hersh, Eden, Carmel, Ori, Almog, and Alex, who were brutally murdered after having survived 11 months in captivity. They could have been saved. He could have been brought back alive. Let's make our way to the yellow section of the square. Here we encounter empty yellow chairs representing the 73 hostages still in captivity. Every chair has a pair of eyes gazing at us. Looking into these eyes, we can only imagine what the hostages would tell us if they could. Behind the chairs is a yellow wall donated by Nirlat, an industrial paint company based in Kibbutz Nir Oz. Inscribed upon it is the Hebrew word achshav, meaning now. Among the hostages was 80-year-old Yoam, a former employee of Nirlat. Yoam was taken from his home with his wife Tammy. Tammy was later released during the ceasefire deal in November. Yoam, who was murdered in captivity, leaving behind his wife Tammy, 3 children, and 7 grandchildren. As we make our way across the square, I'll mention that just like Nir Oz, many kibbutzim near the Gaza border were devastated on October 7th. They suffered unimaginable losses and damage. And they had to evacuate to temporary housing in different parts of the country. These days, some of these communities are facing the painful challenge of returning home and rebuilding their lives. We're now arriving to the tunnel installation that has become one of the most recognizable symbols of the square. The tunnel simulates walking through Hamas underground tunnels, where many of our hostages are believed to be held. It seeks to convey some of the nightmare that they are experiencing: complete utter darkness, humidity, lack of air, not knowing if it's day or night. However, unlike Hamas tunnels that stretch over miles and miles, in this installation in our square, we do get to see the light at the end of the tunnel. The final stop on our tour was created by 70-year-old Luis, who was rescued from Hamas captivity after 129 days. These vibrant, colorful cubes spell the word tikva, which means hope. The hope that sustained Luis in captivity and the hope we all share for the release of the remaining hostages. All of the installations we visited today are part of a square that is dynamic and constantly changing, just like the reality around us. And every time we come here, there is something new to see, to feel, and to experience. Reminding us that this square is not a memorial. It's not a memorial because our story is far from over. There are hostages still alive, and others who are pronounced dead, whose bodies are still held captive in Gaza. These are innocent people, and it is our mission and our duty to bring them home. The living for rehabilitation and the dead for a dignified burial which they deserve. Every week since the current phase of the deal began, Israelis follow closely as hostages return, glued to screens, torn between joy, fear, and hope. The entire nation is emotionally invested, awaiting the return of people they may know only through stories and pictures. We will continue to wait until the last hostage returns home. Here are some pictures that convey a little bit of that, of the emotions that we feel every time that we see people returning and finally hugging their loved ones. And this is what we would like and hope to see for all remaining 73 hostages as well. Before I hand over the conversation, I'd like to thank you again for being here today and also to invite you to consider supporting us. The Hostages Families Forum is a nonprofit relying on the generosity of volunteers and donors from around the world. In a minute, we're going to post a link in the chat if you would like to learn more about the Hostages Families Forum and consider supporting us. And also we will post another link if you would like to invite others to participate in sessions like today. Now I will hand over the session to Nirit. Nirit Adpo.
Yes, thank you, Laura. I'm here. Hello, everyone. My name is Nirit Ohel, and I am the aunt of Alon Ohel. For those of you who saw now the virtual tour, you know that was presented, and the Yellow Piano is an initiative of my family because Alon is a 24-year-old young man who is a pianist, a very talented pianist, and who was kidnapped from the Nova Festival. I'm going to share with you in a moment a presentation to share a little bit about Alon. But before that, I would like to start from the end because till now, every time when I did sessions like that, where I participated in sessions like that, in the end of the sessions, people used to ask me, so do you have any sign of life? You know, that was the first question that was asked. And I had to always say, no, we don't have any sign of life, but we strongly believe that Alon is alive and that we have to save him and that we have to do everything that is in our power to bring him back home. And, you know, we also had some people who were telling us that, you know, such a long time, you didn't have any sign of life. What does it mean? But 2 weeks ago, we received the first sign of life from Alon, from two of the hostages that came back. And that was a very significant moment for us because one of them stayed with him right from the beginning, and the other one stayed with him for, I think, almost a year. And it was, we are so happy to know, even though we really knew that he's alive, we are so happy to know that he's alive. But with that, I can say that we received very difficult news because if you saw the release of 2 weeks ago, the 3 people that were released, their condition was the worst condition. Alon stayed with them, and his condition is the same. What we understand today is that from 7th of October, he's most of the time, 98% of the time, he's still underground without any light. He is chained with metal chains on his legs. He is starved, as you could see, those who were released 2 weeks ago. They ate only one piece of bread for a very long time. He's still in this condition. He has an injury. He has a sharpnel in his eye from the bomb where when he was kidnapped, which means that he cannot see. He lost his sight in this eye, in the right eye, and that is also a danger for the other eye, for the left eye. He has sharpnels in all over his body, especially what we understand on his arms and the back of his neck. And as you can imagine, that is, I mean, we are in great distress because we understand that we have to do everything that is in our power these days now to make sure that he will be released. Alon is not a part of the first stage, but clearly, as we know, everyone are humanitarian, as you can hear now, and we need to do everything in our power to make sure that he will be released as soon as possible. So I just wanted to open with it because this is what we live today, and you know, this is what is in our mind all the time. As I said, I'm Alon's aunt. I'm the sister of Kobe, Alon's father. And we are all working together in various fields to see how we can influence towards his release. And with that, I'm going to share with you a short PPT that will take you through, just to introduce a little bit Alon to you, because, you know, one of the things that is important for us, we speak about them as hostages, we have photos of the hostages, but they are people with life, beautiful people with dreams, with beautiful life that they built and families. So I want to share with you a little bit, just a glimpse about Alon, about him as an artist, as a pianist, and also I'll share with you a little bit about the story of his, what we know about the day that he was kidnapped, and how we work with it. So I'm gonna just take a moment to share. One second. Okay, so we call this PPT resilience in times of crisis, and this is something that my sister-in-law, Alon's mother, it's really her vision. What from day one she understood that our power is in our unity as a family, as community, and this is where we can bring resilience. And the aim of the family is to stay strong, to work together, to be united, to work with the community so that we have a good home for Alon to come back. This is what we constantly see. You have to be to create a good place for Alon to come back to, because we do understand that his rehabilitation will require a lot of support, you know, and this is what we see, and we constantly dream about this day. I'll show you a very short video. So this video is it's of Alon's parents and his brother. Alon has two siblings. He has a younger brother and a younger sister. He's the eldest. And even though it's in Hebrew, there are subtitles. So I just want to, it's just 2 minutes. So you can learn a little bit about him from his parents and his brother.
אלון הוא ילד מדהים, הוא בן 22.
כל דבר הוא היה בא ומתייעץ איתנו. ככה הוא מתקשר, הוא שואל, מה את חושבת אמא? מה נראה לך? זה מתאים?
הוא נגן על פסנתר מדהים.
הוא כל הזמן היה מזמזם מוזיקה.
אני אח של אלון אוהל. קשר מאוד מיוחד שיש לנו זה הקשר של המוזיקה. כל יום, עד השעות הקטנות של הלילה, אנחנו בחדר שלי מנגנים ביחד. גם עכשיו שאני בבית ואני מנגן, זה בשבילו, שישמע ויתחזק. היינו לבד, רק המשפחה הגרעינית, ואבא אומר שאלון נחטף, וברגע הזה אני רואה את אמא לוקחת נשימה.
ממש, אני זוכרת את הרגע הזה שנשמתי ואמרתי לעצמי, אוקיי, הדבר היחידי שאני יכולה לשלוט בו זה המחשבות שלי על אלון. שאם אני אהיה בסדר, ואם אני אהיה שלמה, ואם אני אהיה חזקה, ואם אני ינשום ויכניס אנרגיות טובות אליי, אז הוא יהיה בסדר. כי הוא מרגיש אותי, כי הוא הבן שלי, ואני יודעת שיש לנו קשר, שאני אוכל להרגיע אותו, אפילו מרחוק. כי זה הכוח שלנו, זה היכולת שלנו להתמודד. אין לנו שליטה על שום דבר, אין לי שליטה על מה שעושים לאלון שם. אין לי שליטה על באמת מה הממשלה עושה, אין לי שליטה על מה שיקרה. אבל על זה יש לי שליטה.
אנחנו מאוד מקווים שהוא חזק שם, כן. ויודע איכשהו שאנחנו עושים בשבילו הכל בשביל להחזיר אותו הביתה. אלון הגיע למסיבה שלם, בריא, על מנת לשמוח בתחילת החיים שלו. יש לו תוכניות להמשך. ואנחנו רוצים שהוא יממש את התוכניות האלה שיש לו.
אנחנו דורשים שתחזירו את אלון שלנו הביתה עכשיו.
So what I can say now, this video was taken a month after Alon was kidnapped. We are now 1 year and 5 months already, and what we know today is that Alon does not know, is not exposed to any news from the outside, so he doesn't know anything from what we are doing, from what is happening. For him, the time stopped. What you can see here are a few photos of Alon when he was a child. Alon was, from the age of 9, he started to play the piano. He really wanted it, and you can see his teacher on the right side at the bottom. She could recognize his talent, and she really nourished him. And he was very connected. He is very connected to the piano all the time. All the time when we think about him, we know he's all the time playing. You know, even without a piano, he's playing. And he used to play for 3-4 hours a day. And as he came in high school, he also continued and took, you know, a major, a piano is a major, and he had to go through a recital, which is very, very difficult. He didn't believe in himself. We did, because we knew how talented he is. And eventually he got the highest grade in this exam, in this test. I want to show you a very short video, which is from one of his performances. So it's just 40 seconds, I think. Yeah, just a glimpse again. And as you can see how, you know, the gap between his life before to what he is living today is so, it's huge, you know. Here you can see alone with the family, we are a very close family from both sides. All the, you know, the children close to each other. We are, and Alon is the eldest grandson of from both sides, from his father's side and his mother's side, and we are incomplete. You know, we are we live him every day. We are waiting for him, and we will not let go until he is with us. When he was around 21, he went to work in the south of Israel. He really enjoyed his time. He met a lot of good friends at the India and the Philippines and Vietnams. And again, he met a lot of friends during this travel. You can see on the left side After a few months of his travel, he came to Thailand to meet his parents and his sister. And what you can see on the left side, it's him hugging his mother after around, I think, 5 months that they didn't see each other. And we constantly have this image in our mind. We are looking forward to see them hugging again. Like that. As you saw, you could see that Alon is playing classical music, but actually in his soul, he is a jazz pianist. He likes jazz and he constantly improvises. And there is a very short, few seconds video of him playing in the Philippines. Yeah. And I'm reaching now to tell you a little bit about the day that Alon was kidnapped and what we know. Alon came to the Nova Festival just 1 hour before the rocket attack started. So he came early in the morning with his friends. They were, all together, they were 5 young people. And when the rocket attack started, they decided immediately to leave the party and go back towards the north. And Alon was driving. They started heading towards the north, but after a few minutes, the police stopped them and asked them to turn around because they said that there is some attack, some problem, but they didn't think that there is a terror attack within the boundaries of Israel. They thought it's rocket attack, so they decided to go to the bomb shelter. That they knew that there is a small bomb shelter on the way. So, and to wait there until the rocket attack will be over. And then they went there, and what you can see here are photos of the shelter itself. It's a very small space. So imagine that it's like, I think something like 2 meters by 3 meters, something like that. And they were 27 people inside this small shelter. 27 young people from the party. While they were waiting there, the 2 young men came. One of them is Hersh Goldberg Polin, that you might have heard about him. He was murdered a few months ago. And another one was Aner Shapira, his friend. And when they came, they already had the information that something is going on, and they warned the people inside that there is a terror attack and that the terrorists will come. Aner was a real hero, and he really guided everyone, and he told them to bend, to put their head down, and that he told them that he will throw, that in case the terrorists will throw grenades into this small shelter, he will be ready to throw them out. And there was another person there who was who was from the party, from the team of the party, from the security team. He was a young Muslim who was telling the people that he will go out because he's speaking Arabic, and he will tell the terrorists that there are only young people there and they should spare them, and that they don't have weapon and anything. And when the terrorists came, he indeed went out and he tried to speak with them. They didn't, they beat him. Eventually they killed him. And they started throwing grenades into the bomb shelter. What we know is that the first 7 grenades, Aner and maybe few more young men, we also heard that Alon, who was there, they threw out the grenades. they managed to throw them out. But the 8th grenade was blown inside, and many were already injured and died already. We understand that, I don't know exactly the sequence, but we understand that about 10 to 12 grenades were thrown altogether. There were 2 RPG rockets that were also shot into this small bomb shelter. And at some stage, the terrorists came inside and they they brutally checked who can walk, and they took out 3 people, which is, one of them is Alon, Elia, and Or Levy, who was released. Or was released 2 weeks ago, and Elia is about to be released. We just received today the news this coming Saturday. They took them, they dragged them into the car, and they came back and they shot again everyone inside, and then they left. 2 of Alon's best friends, childhood friends, were murdered there. 2 of them who came with him, which one of them is Segev. You can see the picture on the right side. You can see Alon is standing on the left side with the gray shirt, and near him, Segev with the white shirt. Segev, just few minutes after this picture was taken, was murdered. Another friend, Ayelet, a young woman that was with them, she was a reporter, and hence at that moment she opened her phone on recording, and we have the recording, 3 hours that we can hear exactly. This is how we know. And there was a documentary that was done a few months ago that is analyzing this recording and showing what happened moment after moment. We can hear Alon there speaking with the police, calling for help. We can hear them speaking between them. My brother was interviewed in this documentary, and he said it's very difficult to see this documentary, but with that we owe it to them to see it, to hear the recordings, because we see how wonderful they are, how they supported each other in these difficult moments. They constantly told each other, I love you, stay strong. They guided each other, because it wasn't just a moment, it was about 1 hour, from what we understand, that all of this is happening, and they're trying to support each other. I would like to show you a short video. This is a difficult video. I'm going to prepare you. These are the videos that we have from the day and from what happened at that day. In the beginning, you can see a few seconds of video of Alon. Still, he had 1 hour in the party, and you can see him dancing in the party. Few seconds after that, you can see the young people in the bomb shelter. They still don't understand what is happening. They just discuss with each other and speak a little bit. And after that, we can see the terrorists throwing the grenades inside. We can also see them beating the person who came out to try and speak with them. And after that, we can see them dragging Alon brutally into the truck. In this moment, it's in slow motion, because otherwise it's a little difficult to see. And then the sound is a bit awkward, but I'm going to show it to you in just a few seconds altogether.
يلا حمل حمل بقى شيل شيل حمل شيل 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 معاه حمل حمل هات معاه شيل بمروان روحك معاه بمروان بمروان هات معاه هات شوفوا
Okay, so this is something that is very difficult, and yet we feel it's important to show in order to understand what they went through, what he's still going through. He's still going through this now, every moment, every day, every second. This is Alon's family, and you know, his mother, Alon's mother, and Alon's father decided. You know, in the beginning, people didn't know how to react, what to say, how to come, how to console the family for what is happening. And Edith, Alon's mother, she put this sign, which is actually saying, "You are welcome home," with a smile and a hope, because she wanted people to come. And she wanted to say that we have hope, you know, and we are waiting for him with this hope. And as a part of it, she also, Edith is a teacher. And the first thing that she did was to create this, you know, flyer, which is mainly for her pupils, you know, and pupils all around the country, to say, do one good thing to anyone and think about Alon, because this is the way to bring a change. And there are a lot of activities that the family did all these months when we didn't know, when we didn't receive any news about Alon. Community projects, and one of the significant projects is the yellow piano. This is what you see here on the left side is the original piano that was donated to us. Alon's piano is still at home. By the way, it's the first time that I'm delivering this session while sitting in Alon's room. I'm actually sitting in his room. We are all, you know, at home, and the home here all the time. Multiple people from the family are doing various things in different rooms, you know. So was the only place for me, and I just said, okay, it's suitable, and I'm going to sit here today with him. And this piano, again, Edith, who is an artist, designed this, and we created this illumination, which is saying, "Alon, you are not alone." After that, when we changed the piano from a regular piano to a cement piano, we already put this sign, which is saying, "You are not alone," which is to all the hostages. There are multiple, I think there are about 30 pianos today around the world, which look like that. Many in Israel, but not all only in Israel. You can see here in various places. Sometimes it is an installation which is put for a few days, but in multiple places it's also continuously there. We recently put another installation in the hospitals where the hostages reach to, and we hope that Alon will soon reach to one of these hospitals for rehabilitation, and we'll see this piano. As we know, he doesn't know anything about it, but the idea is to invite people to come and play. Anyone can come and play, and then by playing, you know, first of all, to do it for him because he cannot do it now, and also send him this this energy, this love to strengthen him and all the hostages. This is it. You know, from my side, we have an Instagram page that you're very welcome to follow. I can, 1 second, I'll just stop the sharing. I can also say that the Forum of the Families is a great support for us. It's an umbrella, you know, for all the families. One of the things that I could feel right when everything was started was that how do we work with it? You know, you don't have any reference to something like that. You don't imagine that something like that will happen to someone that you love. And I think the Forum of the Families is a real source of support, and we can share with other families that are going through the same thing. We receive a lot of strength. There are a lot of, the team is very good, the management team, the volunteers, and we are really grateful for all the support. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions if you would like to, you know, to ask. I'm really open to answer any questions. First of all, I can also say that I want to thank you, you know, for caring to be here, you know, to listen, to dedicate the time to hear from me and from the forum. Yeah. I know that sometimes it's also a little overwhelming, so it's not always easy to immediately come with questions, but and I do understand that, so you can really feel free.
Hi, how can we get any updates? How can we get updates about Elon?
About Alon, see, the truth is that even we today, you know, we are a lot of the, it's maybe it's a bit strange to say, but a lot of the information that we receive about the hostages in general, we receive it in the media itself. This is how the world is working today, you know. But definitely, I would really recommend to follow our Instagram page. We have a Facebook and Instagram. The Instagram is more active, and there we definitely put everything which is there. It's mainly, as of now, it's mainly information about Alon's parents, you know, and Alon's brothers and what they do, what we all do as family. But definitely, I would recommend to follow, and we also communicate through the Instagram. So you're very welcome to write to us there. And
Nirit, I have a question. I actually asked you this a few times, but I'm happy to hear your diverse answers. So if you can please share a great memory you have with Alon in India and Israel.
Yeah. As you say, I live in India for many years, and now because of the situation, I am, you know, traveling between Israel to India. Currently, I'm in Israel. Yes, Alon visited me just before he was kidnapped. He was for more than a month staying with us in India, and he learned music. He learned drumming in India, the tabla, you know, the specific drumming from an artist in India. And I had so many opportunities in this month to just spend time with him and speak. And I can say that a very good memory that I have. I mean, it's multiple memories, but it's about his dreams, his hopes, what he learned to study, that he learned to continue and study music. And he's also very interested in economy, and also the way that he likes food. Alon really likes food. He likes fine dining, but also he will always prefer like a very corrupted sandwich, and he can speak about it, how he's going to prepare this sandwich. And so this is one of the things that I can say. And he can also speak passionately about music a lot. He will explain to you exactly about this artist and that artist, and yeah.
Well, hopefully he'll eat this corrupted sandwich as soon as possible.
Yeah.
There is a question in the chat from Marky. Have you and your family been able to resume your regular daily activities such as employment during this ordeal? And if so, how do you manage?
Yeah, it's a good question, because the truth is that Kobe and Edith and Alon's brother and sister did not. I mean, everything that they do is dedicated to the release of Alon. And the family have changed completely. I mean, we completely changed, all of us, all the uncles, the aunts, the grandparents. We are all dedicated to that. At the same time, the second circle, the uncles, the aunts, we have to, because we have to also keep our work and everything. So we somehow manage it. But definitely it's life is not the same. I mean, we are the most important thing is Alon, and to save him now.
Hi, Nirit.
Hi.
Thank you very much for sharing all of this with us, and shalom from England. First of all, I'm so sorry of what you're going through, what us as a people are going through. It's heartbreaking. But I keep on wondering, we're trying, at least from abroad, to do what we can to show support, to bring some understanding in the international ring. I mean, do you feel that the family of the hostages and of the victims think that we could do more abroad to help? Because we go on protests, we go on marches, but we feel very useless. I mean, I personally try to upload information in English to my Facebook, to my social media, to help people understand what truly is happening, and educate some of the ignorance out there. But I don't know if that's enough. I don't know. I mean, we donate money, we donate clothes, we help, try to help some, but we feel helpless. And you're the best person to ask, what can we do more from here?
Yeah. I have to tell you that many times we are also asking ourselves, what can we do? I mean, it's a part of this situation, and it's really, I can really understand. I mean, it is a question that we constantly go with. I think that what we realized is that the awareness is very important. It's important not to just live with it, just accept it. It's important to continue and be aware of the current condition, of the hostages' current condition, and not to allow ourselves to just put it aside. And like you said, and I heard someone who said recently that, again, a mother of another hostage, and she said that for her it's very important that also that it will be public, that whatever, that you'll state it, that you'll bring it, like you said, in the Instagram, I'm not sure that each and everyone, I believe that what is important is for each and every person to find what is suitable for him, but definitely that to keep the awareness, our own awareness, not to just live with it, not to accept it, and continue to try and think for each one of us, what can we do? What can we do to help them and not give up?
Thank you. And our prayers are with you.
Thank you so much.
So if there are no other questions, Nirit, if you want to say some closing words, otherwise from us, just to thank you all for your participation and for your prayers in the chat.
Yes, thank you so much. And I hope that we will soon have good news. I really hope, and I wait for it. Thank you so much for listening.